Greetings. This is Robert Forsch today. This is Flat Earth Flat Earth research and truth seekers. And what I wanted to do is talk about truth seekers and, of course, Flat Earth research. All of the research that we're doing is basically, or I'm doing, is basically Flat Earth research because we live on a relatively flat Earth. That's what's going on here. And what I want to do is go ahead and help people to see that so that you can be aware of that. What's in the view right now is basically the area where I did the broadcast yesterday, and the beach is a bit different. However, what I wanted to show you are the statistics of the let's see, hopefully I can show that in a way that you can read it good. It's kind of washing out, don't know why. Okay, so I'm going to try this again. We're at what's called Cherry Grove Inside, and it's just not helping. I don't know why I'm not able to show you that so good. So what's happening basically there we go. Okay, so there's the numbers. You can see that. What's happening is the sun and moon are changing their course. Well, they're running a course above the face of the earth that continually changes ever so slightly. Today, let's see, the sun will be appearing over in this area, while in the winter it's going to be coming up way over here and staying much lower on the sky. That's part of how that works. Here's a gentleman out here doing a little research, looking for something. People come from all over the world to search, find what they're looking for. I've truly found what I was looking for, the truth in this matter, but it's not just the truth about the shape of the earth, it's truth seeking. I'm a truth seeker. And I have connected with a lot of other people that are like-minded in that as well, wanting to know the truth about whatever we're looking into. That's what I've heard from other people, so I'm basing that comment on what people have told me. Like when I went to the Flat Earth International Conference in North Carolina, I met some fantastic people that many of you would know. To get the reflection there, I have to go over here. And there they are. It's a plane mirror is what this is. The water is flat. Relatively undisturbed. There's actually a breeze coming out of the southwest today, probably about 5 to 7 miles an hour. Earlier this year, where my vehicle is parked up over there near where I did the broadcast or the video of the crane moving an air conditioner unit up there. There a whole van full of people from Germany. It's kind of interesting, the dynamic here. So to put these clouds in that water, I just need to move on over here, and there they show up. And the reason why that matters is we're looking at plane mirrors at sea level. This is off the coast of South Carolina. On the coast of South Carolina, I should say. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab my camera here. So some people give lip service to being a truth seeker. They may be looking for the truth that they want to believe, or they may be looking for information that confirms the perspective that they have. So what I hope you're able to see is the movement of those clouds up above and down below, the people coming out all over here. So some of my broadcasts are long, and that's of course intentional. All of what I do is really intentional. I want to give information and show you the world that we actually live in. So they may be a bit longer of a broadcast because I'm showing you tidal activity. So to put this in perspective, we have the tide is, okay, so I'm going to just, it's not cooperating real good with me. The low tide is 6:49 a.m., which is, it's 6:18 a.m. Eastern Standard Time right now. And I put the numbers up there so that when you can see the date stamp of when this is, and this is, you know, where it is, you can go to the Tides Near Me application app and see how this all works out in whatever location you want to type in. Now I can confirm the accuracy of that data here. I have gone all over the world to look at the information, seen it in Antarctica, seen it in Long Beach, California, Avalon, the island, Catalina Island, about 26 miles off the coast of Southern California. I used to live in Seal Beach, California. There's another Robert Forsch that lives in Irvine, works at the Fluor Corporation. How many Robert Forsches do you know? Well, my wife knew the Robert Forsch that worked at Fluor Corporation, where she worked as well. It's a bit strange. I got a call the other day from a lady from Washington wanting to find out if I knew an individual that was a scam artist that bilked her from some money from her, and she mentioned Robert Forsch. So yeah, I've Googled my name. Now that's Crystal right there in the water in the middle of the view. Interesting story about Crystal's mom or owner. I had never YouTubed or Googled Uber, and she drives for Uber. And I said, what's it like driving for Uber? And she brought the app up on her phone. Keep in mind, I've never opened up any of my devices and searched Uber. However, I was standing next to her while she was looking at it on her phone. And all of a sudden, Uber shows up on my Facebook and all of that. Google ads. We're not in Kansas anymore. The artificial intelligence that's online knows what we're talking about, where we are, what we like and dislike. It's school. I'm schooling it. We all are. It's paying attention to all of our data. You know, what we do, where we go, and I'm schooling it in a little bit different way, in that I'm a child of God that's actually born again now. Not all of God's children have even been born the first time. Hi, Crystal, where's your mom? Hi, Crystal, how are you, baby? Huh? Where's your mom? Is she okay? Is she okay? Huh? So I am a little bit concerned, only in that this puppy would normally, I would see her mom nearby, wherever she is. I hope that's her over there in the middle of the view. So one of the things that I'll do when I drive on in is I'll have my dome light on in the car, and I wave to people that are coming on out of this area, leaving this area. They may be driving back to another state from visiting, or they may be on their way to work. If they're coming out of this area at 5 o'clock in the morning, or early like that, or 6, they're people that I've probably met out here walking their dogs or their grandchildren or children, all of that. So part of the dynamic that I do with the outreach that I have is I'm wearing a shirt that's easy to recognize, all ages. I've had children younger than 5 years old come up to me when they're walking with their grandparents. Are you a YouTuber? And I said, yeah, I am. You can go to my channel if you like. You know, and I look at the grandparents as well when I say that. So what's interesting too is the car has that information on it. People can look and see that I'm a truth seeker, or how about this? A truth seeker or a crazy guy. So people that don't want to believe what I'm sharing will largely see me as a crazy guy. My friends that are also seeking to find the truth out about whatever we look into. Are they modifying the weather? They're modifying the weather. Are they enslaving humanity with mind control? Yes, they're enslaving humanity with mind control. Television, multimedia, the internet, all of it. And when I'm out on the beach, or you are, I'm going to be interacting quite often with people that are in that mind control. Now, the lady that called me looking for Robert Forsch said, is there even do you think that there's even, when I said, you know, by irony and paradox, the deceived are unaware that they're deceived. And she asked a very excellent question. I answered it before in other videos before she asked me the question. Here it is. She said, is there even a 1% or less than a 1% chance that you could be one of those that's deceived? And I said, without hesitation, absolutely. Absolutely. That's a possibility. On some of the issues that I'm talking about. As far as the shape of the earth, all this flat water doesn't turn into a ball except in the mind of the deceived and the deceivers. What actually happened on 9/11? That was one of her other questions she asked me. Do you believe in 9/11? I said, I know it happened. We lost friends and family. All of us did. Some of us, as God's children, lost brothers and sisters in Christ, and those of us, or those in this audience and in this world, are Satan's children, and they lost family too. I believe the perpetrators of the evil that occurred on 9/11 of 2001 were largely orchestrated by Satan's children. The events of 9/11 can't be explained by the official narrative that we're told. So when I have a broadcast like this and I send it on over to the some of the 9/11 truth groups, they get really put off. They'll say, no flat earth posting. I may have to leave a group like that. What I did do, because I selected a video out of my over 1,100 videos on my like video playlist, I found one of my best 9/11 videos and I clicked on it out of my liked video playlist, sent it to that group. I didn't get a notification that I'm aware of where he didn't like that, the admin for that group. So part of what happens is people will see my shirt or they'll scroll on by because they see my comment on a video, and then they'll go over to my channel quite possibly and see the videos that I've featured. Well, with 1,100 videos, if they don't scroll through the playlist, they're not going to understand the breadth of the scope of research that I've not only done, what I've consumed, and then what I'll comment on as well. Okay, so I'm going to take a look at the sun, of course, is approaching in this area right there. And if I move this over a little bit, I'm looking for some of the best view for a longer broadcast. Like yesterday, when I came out here, there was a squid that was in there. and he was squirting around, and then a group came by, and the gentleman picked him up, and he was in sand, and sand got in his pumping system. They use hydro propulsion. Water is squeezed and squirts them around. Well, what happened was he got a bunch of sand in his pump, and I picked him up from the lady's hand. I said, "Are you going to let him go?" And she said, "Yeah, we're gonna let him go." I said, "Great." So I was holding him in the water and moving him around, and he bit my finger, or stung it. I don't know. I didn't see any big choppers on him or anything. I think some of them might have a beak. He was only about that long. But anyway, I sucked whatever toxin or kind of anesthetic might have been in there to put people out, or his little prey, whatever. He might grab a little minnow. He might have been chasing after a minnow that's in there. I came across a minnow that was stuck in the sand. Now there's a bird that's fishing. Wow, what a stealth move. Do you think a fish in there would have ever seen him coming? Wow. Yeah, how about that? We had an 8-foot bull shark captured or caught out here, and then the fisherman cut his head off and let him go. That'll be food for other fish and crabs and all of that. What we had out here was a whole lot of beach renourishment, and then what has happened is it's decreased the flow area, the orifice that the water leaves. So it's been uprooting trees and washing them up on the beach. That's kind of how that works. So in this area, over the years that I've been recording out here, this used to be much flatter, and so it's a much bigger taper here. And I'll pan on around so you can see this once again. Higher is drier and lighter in color, and lower is wetter. And then I've got photographs and video of those buildings reflected in this water, which I'll do again later when the sun hits them. They look prettier. It's easier to see the pelicans when they're up high because of the background of the sky. When they're down real tight on the water, going in between the waves, it's hard to keep them in the shot. I can do it though. So this time of year we've got couples, singles, people starting over, homeschooling parents, snowbirds from Canada, some of them coming here to spend the next half a year. How nice. Yeah. I meet a lot of Canadians here. Hey. You know, hey. Okay, so right in the view, what I did in that little bit of movement, I put these clouds right there just by moving the camera. That's how precision this is. So when I'm driving down the road and there's a street light and a puddle that's like 1 foot across, and I see the flash of the light in the road. Yeah, that's how precision all of this is. Very much so. Low tide is a great time to ride a bike out here. And then when the tide comes in, it gets a little bit tougher because the sand gets quite a bit softer. There's hydrostatic pressure. The water pushes air out of the sand. And then as the water drops through the sand and the water comes back in and up, the air bubbles will shoot out of the bottom, out of the sand. Did you notice the birds coming at us and seeing them in the view here? So this looks radically different than yesterday. but it would probably be hard for you to recognize that. I do what I can with the having not too much wind sound. I'll turn around in that. The wind is at my back now. But part of that is, too, what you can see is how relatively calm the water is down low, even with that amount of wind. So as I did yesterday, we can see the people there. Can you see that person there? How about 10 times the view? There they are. So this is a mission field that comes to us. I don't just run up to people and say, hey, did you know the earth's flat? No, that's not how I roll. What'll happen is, hey there, what'll happen is I'm doing this out here and people have a curiosity. Their curiosity is a catalyst for consideration. New information that they wanted to know. They wanted an answer to their question. So where I'm parked, right over on the road there, straight in from here, my car is clearly visible to a whole bunch of cars that drive by there and do a U-turn there and are visiting from all over the world. I know because they tell me. Met them from Sweden, Germany, Norway, Conway, half hour down the road or halfway around the world. How about that? So that's why this is a big deal, and I've got something to show you. It's the open ocean right here, next to the little tidal pools right here. Not only is the water coming in, it's going down into the aquifers. Now I'm going to show you the water that's evaporating right in front of you there, over the tops of those trees, right in the middle of the view there. That is a lot of moisture. So we can see on the left side, whoop, my finger is messing with it. There we go. Okay, on the right side of the view is a high concentration of sea mist that's getting stirred up by a lot of wave activity. And the left side, it's much clearer. It's all got to do with flat earth research. There's a mind control programming that's involved in all of this too. So my drug of choice, what was the drug of choice? Adrenaline and dopamine. I race pro-level motocross. I'm a very intense individual. I have been my whole life. I like to do things in an excellent manner, the best I can. I actually, by God's grace, I'm actually able to do things better each day. And what I'm going to do too for some of these broadcasts like this is, I'll keep my face in and out depending on how I decide I want to do that, what I want to show you. And if you just want to take a look at what I'm showing, and you can listen to whatever you want. If you think the Bible guy has got his head up his because I believe a fairy tale that's been clearly proven to be false. No, Jesus is real. He's living in and through me. Okay, so a lot of people that want to do their own thing don't like the Bible. Yeah. So the individual I talked to the other day that was looking for Robert Forsch, she believes in the Baha'i faith and that she has graduated beyond where I am. And, well, you know what? That's her perspective. And I'm just unapologetically biblical. And I'm not trying to be an a-hole about it at all. I just have found that I was set free from a life of enslavement, and I want to help set other people free. That reflection there is coming from right there. Actually, more from right there. It's coming in line. So the The sunrise today is several minutes later, when the sun appears, and then the sunset is several minutes earlier. And you can look this data up wherever you care to, wherever you live, or whatever. You know, you can call a friend in another country and say, hey, can you see the sun or the moon? I posted a picture of the moon, and my friend Roberto Gigliardi posted a picture of the moon moments after. And he's in Australia. Shouldn't be able to see the moon at the same time of the day like that. Well, we did. We know we live on a plane. It's really obvious. So people can argue about, oh, your map and model is wrong, you flat earthers are crazy. I simply say water seeks level. It does. That exposes the shape of the earth. The water covers the face of the earth, and you're looking at relatively undisturbed flat water. Just imagine, if you will, just like a Rod Serling. Just imagine, if you will, the world is covered by water and people that are mind controlled and cowards and held in line by conscripted by a military shadow government, the deep state that has them afraid to tell the truth. They could lose their job. They could lose their health insurance so they don't get the treatment for the cancer that we gave them. Huh? Cancer that we gave them? Yeah, it gets pretty deep. My mom told me before she died about 25 years ago, she said, Bobby, if the cancer doesn't get you, the treatment will. And she battled with it for a long time. A lot of people worked at the factory that she worked at to help pay for my motocross racing. Yeah, she helped pay for my motocross racing. So it takes a lot of money to travel around in a motorhome, a lot of fuel and a lot of equipment and all that. But anyway, a lot of people that worked at the Hortonville Toy Company in Hortonville, Wisconsin, died of cancer. If you're one of my friends that lives in Hortonville, you probably know about that. Now it's more of a business office. At the time, though, the air quality was poor, and my mom would tell me about she would get a little lightheaded and dizzy. She was in quality control and worked around a lot of paints and solvents, acetone, ketone, lacquer thinner, and these chemicals actually go into the brain, and they're destructive of the neurological transporters, the receptors in the brain, and the different brain chemicals. So in the mind control, I'm under mind control as well. Huh? What? Well, mind control in the sense that I want God to control my mind. The God who created this world, who lives in and through me, I want Him to help me to see what He wants me to see and to let go of what He wants me to let go of, like people hating on me for exposing the truth. A shout out to Joey Rocha. Thanks for sharing the live broadcast yesterday with a lot, like a dozen groups. By the time my feet got into the I got into the car, there were over 2,000 views of yesterday's Flat Earth Research broadcast. Thanks. And some of them were really hating on me. Oh well, I can handle that. If they want to come out here and hate on me, you know, they can talk trash, but if a weapon comes out, they'll be surprised. Maybe. Yeah, I'm not going to take any crap from anybody. If it's a physical threat, I will take evasive action, or I should say decisive action quickly. Is that kind of thing a possibility? Absolutely. I've got a live broadcast on the beach, but they would have an audience, but they could wait until it's over. But there's a lot of people out here. But the kind of weaponry that the enemies of our soul have can be a directed energy weapon, like in a doggone beach bag. They press a button and interrupt the function of my heart. Yeah, you know, they've got the heart starting machine, like the AED, like at the big stores and that. You hit them with voltage to stop and start the heart again to get it going. Well, there's technology to just stop the heart of people. And I believe that technology is also on what some call death towers or cell towers. We've got the rollout of 5G wireless. I've got a 5G router in my house. It's pretty fast. When I get done doing a video with the P900 and I want it up there, it gets up there pretty quick. And I like that. We're swimming in a sea of electrosmog. Wireless transmissions all around us. And then there's conductive material that's being released in the air that we breathe, the atmosphere. And that goes into our bodies and into our brains. What's all in that? Aluminum, barium, strontium, possibly. Nanobots, maybe. So the lady here taking a picture directly at me might have been of just the scene, but that's okay. I'm not freaked out about it. I'm just very aware of my surroundings. I need to be. I ride a motorcycle and I've had near-death experiences on that, or at least near accident. It was funny because the lady I was talking about yesterday said my near-death experiences didn't really count as what she considers near-death experiences. I said, well, I almost died multiple times, but I didn't have the white tunnel thing going on. The doctor said it was a miracle I survived my Tylenol overdose in 2005. Why does that matter? Well, part of the truth-seeking process is the prison bars that are around humanity include a population of humanity that will say, oh, that's a crazy person, they need to be medicated, because they don't believe the official story of 9/11, and they're talking about spraying in the sky. And they're talking about the earth being flat, and they bounce from one subject to another. There's a lot of material. That's why when I post a video from my liked video playlist, and there's 1,000 videos, there's documentaries that cover 9/11, what happened, or what did we see, what do we think may have happened. And then what's inserted in some of these conspiracy theories would actually be ridiculous theories that are definitely not real, very likely not real, intentionally to get people to think that's crazy. There goes the little dog again. He was out here yesterday. And the salt water, dog spit and sand will go flying right off of that ball if it hits the water. Isn't that cool? People out here loving life. Some of them. And so one of the benefits that we have there, so Mark Sargent yesterday was helping promote a Flat Earth meetup in Greenville, South Carolina, which would involve about 8 hours and a half of driving for me to go to. And I had a chance to meet Jack, talk with him. Jack was on his show. I believe we're subscribed to each other, and it's all kind of interesting. But I don't want to invest the 8.5 hours of drive time and $100 to go and do that. There will be Flat Earth meetups here wherever I am. That's pretty much how that works. So it's not like I'm not doing outreach. I do it every day. And then because I'm here creating content that is somewhat interesting, I believe, to people, at least interesting in that many love it, like it, and doggone it, How about those haters? Now, I'm gonna flip this around so I can see how I look. Talk about the haters. How about those haters? Bring it on. Bring it on. Give me a call if you want to. A lot of times I'm not going to be flying fingers talking about all this stuff, chatting. I'm a pick and punch kind of guy, and I got cats all over me. They just love it. But here's the thing: I have no problem talking to you. It'd be no problem for me to say, hey, I understand you're hating on me. I subscribe to your channel. Why is it you don't have any content and I'm your only subscriber? Are you a chatbot? Are you part of the AI control system? Could be. Could be. We're schooling it. It's paying attention. Okay, so we've got hand holding in the shot. I'm a flat earth researcher. I don't notice a whole lot of hand holding going on in the Walmart parking lot. Okay? Yeah? Yeah, when people plunk down billions of dollars, billions and billions of dollars to come here on the Grand Strand in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, 60 miles of the widest beaches, in some of the widest beaches in the world, the most driven to destination quite possibly in the world. So when they've got that kind of investment in there, there's a bit of an effort, I think, to probably enjoy it more. And quite frankly, enjoying life can take some effort, some mental focus. What are we going to think about? What are we going to look at? What are we going to expose ourselves to? Do you think that the guests that come out here are watching a lot of TV? Well, probably not. The youth might be playing a lot of video games, but we will see them on their phones. I will. I'll see them on their phones on the beach. I don't have a problem with that. What is kind of a challenge is when the quality time of being able to enjoy the beauty and majesty of this, and then at the point of where we can enjoy this, some people defer to digital distraction that's happening that they can do wherever they are. Conversely, you can be on a computer watching this. Okay, so in the view under the Tillman Pier is the Cherry Grove Pier at the Prince Resort, where I've done other videos. There's the cupola out there. It's about 1,000 feet long pier, and it's directly south. Okay, here we go. So the sun, oh my gosh, there it is. I gotta shoot it. I'm gonna try and keep it live, and I'm gonna try and figure out what to do with my commentary. I might be narrating it or just run it silent. So part of what I'll show later, I will post this up on my YouTube channel and Facebook. I'll link them together. Spectacular captures. One of the things that I can't do right now is I need to have this on my eye, like when I'm taking a long distance shot like that, I look at it like this. I'll shoot you right now. Okay, and my right eye is my spotter. Both eyes are open, and I can see the area around me, capture the shots. My head works as the part of the stabilizer of this, like that. And also, it's a real challenge to be talking and shooting at the same time. So what I opted to do, I can describe it now a little bit more. Whoops. It was a spectacular capture, and I've got a lot of them. So if I just post a video on this particular live broadcast, I put it in the description, then you can go to my YouTube channel and see from the playlist. That video is the starting point of the playlist, and then you can keep on looking at other videos, scrolling around if you care to. Or not, you can scroll on by. What I've done, thousands of hours of this. So if somebody really wants to know the truth and they want to call me, I'm totally cool with that. If they're just wanting to show how intelligent they think they are and try and out-chat me, they'll out-chat me. I'll just say, I will put my phone number or say, call me if you like. And I don't know that too many artificial intelligence chatbots are going to call a human being and try and have a dialogue. Maybe it's already happened to me. I don't know. Could be. I've talked with people for hours from other countries. An angry vegan atheist that believes we live on a globe. I heard his wind chime outside his window. I said, can you hear my wind chime too? He said, yeah. I said, how does that work on a spinning, wobbling, gyrating globe? Apparently, they're upside down in relationship to one another. Yeah, things don't hang upside down like that. It's not possible. So when I got a survey, they were supposedly going to give me a brand new iPhone 10. Cool. I started to go through it. I read the fine print, backed out of it. But in the initial part of it, it was through Amazon. It said male, female, or other. Okay, here's the issue on the other. For the LGBT, lesbian, gay, whole transgender, transpocalypse, homosexual agenda, whether it's that or one of the marital partners says, hey, I don't want to do that anymore. You're just not making me feel so good. I'm not so happy with you anymore. So we're not going to go to the happy place that romance is made of. Some people may choose to look at romance on a TV program or on the internet and forsake real interaction with their husband or wife. It happens. They're living in a fantasy world. What's the truth about that? It's a painful truth. I know it all too well. Yeah, I said it. It happens. And one of the reasons why I'll mention it is because that is part of the control mechanism, not just for me, for humanity. The challenge between relational satisfaction in marriage began in the garden with the fall of mankind and the curse that occurred from that wanting to do it their own way. And what was the temptation basically? Did God really say? Yeah, he did. He said, don't eat that fruit. Don't do that. Oh, well, they did it anyway. Look at what happened. We've got the curse, the fall of mankind, and the curse that would then provide the opportunity for the redemption that Jesus provided on the cross. He's the only way people will even see the kingdom of heaven, let alone go there. I'm convinced it's only by God's grace that anybody can love and believe the truth, let alone find it. So this will probably be one of my pictures posted. I don't even know how well you can see that. Right in the middle of the view, the flat water, the tree, and the land that we can see and not see just because of a little bit of water. What I'm basically compiling here, for those of you who are wondering what this is about anyway, Flat Earth Research and truth seekers, is that it's actually a big deal to try and find the truth in a world that's covered with a sea of deception, with pride as a catalyst. Oh, I don't need to hear what he has to say. He believes the Bible is true. That means he doesn't have anything I want to hear. Oh, well, bummer for you. Oh, he believes the earth's flat? I love Jesus, but I think he's deceived. Show me. Show me. So I've got significant family members, a wife that says I'm deceived by Satan on so many areas. I said, show me. Show me in Scripture. Oh, I don't have a Bible study with a deceived individual. All right, suit yourself. Suit yourself. Do what you're going to do. Leave me, take the cats, lie to people about me, tell them how abusive I am, that I say you're not born again. I don't know. I just don't see it. I don't see the fruit of the Spirit. The changed life that I have is so different than I used to be. So part of this control mechanism is a deliberate effort to make the appealing of or to make that relational intimacy, whichever you're looking for, to get that with the new car, the new Mercedes, whatever class they want to show. You got the happy wife. I've heard it said happy wife, happy life. Happy wife may very well mean a man that got his testicles put up on the shelf and he's like her shopping caddy, going around and picking up and carrying home whatever she wants to try and make her happy. If she's real superficial and living in fantasy land, the man trying to please that woman is going to be very frustrated. Oh yeah, I've heard about that. I've found it, I've seen it, I've lived it. So I tried to make other people happy, tried to make myself happy. And what about that drug of choice I said I was addicted to? Adrenaline. I'll by God's grace, I'll do what he wants, and he makes me happy. It's the way it's supposed to be. That's how it's designed. Pleasing, happy, when I do what Jesus wants, he makes me real happy for doing that. And I can't do that in my own strength. So what I'm doing is by his grace and the power of his Spirit. That's the way that this works. So I used to be a religious hypocrite. Go to church, work at a ministry for 11 years, homeschool our children. Joni did a lot of it. I was schooling them too on different things. Some of the classes they didn't want to attend at the time. The fixing the cars, how do you light a barbecue, hanging out by the grill. Unfortunately, because of relational turbulence, we opted to let our sons immerse themselves in a lot of digital distraction. It's a bummer. I can't unring that bell. It happens in a lot of families. Here's the video games. Go and have fun. Don't hurt each other. In the digital world, it's different. Wow, some fabulous shots out here. So you can maybe see that, but there's looks like a mom, dad, and a daughter. How nice. How nice. I'm not jealous of other people. I'm not envious of other people that apparently have it going on where they can enjoy life like this. I actually enjoy it just the way it is. I would like to enjoy it a bit differently. However, I have a passion, purpose, and an eternal perspective and the power to do what I need to do. And basically it's what he does in and through me. That's the big deal. That's the game changer. It isn't that I got it figured out. It's that what happened was I was given a desire to love the truth no matter what. I was given His Holy Spirit, the creator of this world, this life experience, the body to be involved in this world with. When I can't fog a mirror or register a pulse, they'll either burn me up and put me in the ocean, in a concrete box, or in a dirt nap in the ground. But ultimately, to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. He's living in and through me now. The transition, I don't know how big of a deal it's actually going to be. I trust that He knows exactly what He's doing. Satan will use who and what he can. God uses it all, including Satan, the fallen angels. God uses it all. And that is awesome. So like this is the still shot from the P900 of what you're looking at, basically. I'm just a little off to the side to get that. To get the shots that are way down low, the mirrored, what I'll do is flip that open and I can drop the camera way on down. That's part of how that works. So now the light is, I'm sure, hitting the buildings real beautifully, and I think it's time to take you for a little bit of a walk. I saw a little bit of a lens flare there. This is my kit. Sometimes weather is a challenge, so I can just put all my stuff in there. I've got my water, my food, coffee, all of that. Real easy to do that. So the sun is pretty low in the sky. It'll shoot right across the water. The precision with which it covers up the ground is amazing. So camera lens placement's a big deal. We can see all the light beam shooting across the water, hitting the tops of the sand that just gently is elevated out of there. And then here we've got the buildings. Okay, now we've got the buildings showing up in the sand and the water. How about that? So we can clearly see the ripples there. I've got some sand underneath my on my tripod cleat, so I just touched it in there and the water knocks it off, releases it. Ah, there's still some there. I'm going to make that go away. Mostly go away. Okay, we can see the sun hitting that rim all around there. So right now we've got the water flowing out of the sand, and that's been happening for a while. This is the little delta of this little tidal pool. Imagine the Mississippi River. Imagine the Niagara Falls, the amount of water that gets moved. It's just all part of the equation. Look at the individual beauty of each and every little tidal pool. Can we find any creatures in here today? Yesterday it was amazing. A poor little minnow was buried half into the sand. I just saw his head sticking out, like half of his body, the front half sticking out, and I was able to catch him and let him go in here. And then I suspect the water came in enough for him to go back out to the sea. But it illustrated a very important point. As we reach out to humanity, some of these people are going to hear what we're talking about, the reality of the world we actually live in, and they're going to be set free from a life of enslavement. And that's why I do this, because it matters. Now, here we've got a lot of flow of sand. We can see all the little bits of sand being carried and moved. That's part of the flat earth research. Here we've got hydrostatic pressure pushing water out of the tube that's there. It's coming up a little bit higher than the surface there because of all the pressure of the water all around in these tubes that are created. First they'll pump a bunch of air out and then water. So when I started the broadcast, there was a gentleman with a flashlight out here, and it was really cool. I started and dropped the broadcast. I would have liked to, I was out here just a little, like a minute too late. I wanted to have the hashtag Flat Earth Research and Truth Seekers in there so it would be more attractive for people to look at, to investigate. So we can see the washboard surface there, and then we can see the contrast of the water carrying that out. Right here, there's the friendly shadow waving. Right there is right there, the clouds. But we can see the difference in how that looks, because it's a different method of movement. So I've watched a lot of wave activity, not just here, all over in my life. I used to live in Texas, California. I love living near the ocean. The air is very fresh and clean. So even though the sand is relatively dry, it's still reflective. I want to show you a silhouette of a family. It's one of the reasons why I'm here. A little girl like that can go right to my YouTube channel and see today's broadcast if she wants. Youngsters tell me that they've gone to my channel. I've got nothing to hide. I'm not creeping on kids. I don't have any dirty secrets. I'm a free man wanting to set other people free. So sometimes people might think, oh, he's creeping on kids. Well, look at my profile, look at what I post, and there's a process of reporting anything that you believe would be inappropriate. You can run my name through a registry. You can search it out and find out that I'm just a guy who loves the truth and wants to share it with people. That's another one of the control mechanisms. A person can say, a woman can say of a man, he forced himself on me or something. Not of me. They can't say that of me. Not even with my wife. If I were to do that, that would be viewed as inappropriate or possibly criminal, depending on how that went down. Oh well. She can't call the police because I didn't make coffee one morning. Or I left her dirty dishes in the sink. She said, I'm leaving them for you. You need to do something around here. Yeah, right. It's all kind of funny. People believe largely what they want to believe. So how would I back that up biblically speaking? Well, what I would say is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 says, they refuse to love the truth and so be saved. For this reason, God sends them a powerful delusion. So it's beyond a satanic deception. It includes God rewarding, or as a consequence of the insincere investigation, the individual is going to believe the lie they want to believe. Wow, bad deal, bad trade. So why do we believe what we believe? Do we believe it because it's true? Or do we believe it because that's the perspective we want? I prefer the truth. I love the truth. Very clear to see the convex shape of the dry sand there. Drier sand. It's still moist, but this we can see the interruption and the shape of it. So in an effort to cleanse my body and my brain, I put the good stuff in and keep the bad stuff out. Some of the drugs people are on are a rush that they get from being angry, putting things off, procrastinating. How about that? It's kind of weird, isn't it? Some people get a rush out of being very difficult and making other people mad. So, like even in the discussion boards of theology or cosmology, there's a lot of angry people that seem to get a rush out of making other people angry. Oh well, that's not how I roll. The proof is on my profile, on my Facebook and YouTube and Twitter, and I've got to do more with Instagram. I probably will. I saw the reflection of that sign on the beach there. Will it show back up? Let me zoom in again. The precision with which I'm talking about this stuff is amazing. Not so easy to see it right now. It may show up later, but the bigger picture, now even though the sand is wet and slanted a bit, we could still see the man. And then we've got the fisherman that's up a little bit higher. The bait that I'm using is a bit different. It's digital bait. But it's evidence. People are forming their opinions based on a lot of different reasons. What they see, hear, think, or quite possibly just what they want to believe. Okay, now because of the sand that built up here, we can see this texture of shape. It more matches this right here. A combination of sand and water coming out of there. Back and forth. It's flat earth research. We're all on a flat earth, whether you like it or not, or agree with it or not. The truth is the truth no matter how few people believe it, and a lie is still a lie no matter how many people believe it. I don't even know who to give credit to for that. I don't believe I need to. It's just the reality. So can somebody copyright the truth? I don't think so. It just is. I'll share it. I believe the Bible, God's Word, is true, and I've got a lot of evidence as to why I believe that, and that works for me. So my takeaway of looking at the sea of humanity for 57 years is that there's really something special about being born of God's Spirit. Here's the texture, and then it just kind of all drops off there. But what I want to show you too is the ripples quite often look like the texture of the sand. Isn't that spectacular? And then we can see the shapes of it underneath. It's just gorgeous. So people have loved coming out to the ocean for a lot of years. Keep in mind it was how much of commerce was transported, and it still is today. We've just got very sophisticated ways of doing it. So like on my playlist, I've got the construction of the world's largest container ship. It's literally a big deal. I think they made the entire ship in 35 weeks. I believe that's the number on that. It's massive. It was quite a few times bigger than the Titanic or whichever ship actually sunk. I don't know. There were two ships that looked like the Titanic. The Titanic was one, and the name of the other one escapes me at the moment. But that whole sinking of the Titanic, there are a lot of actual conspiratorial realities around it. The story doesn't add up. Okay, so here we've got the buildings once again, and right here we've got the ripples. The wind is coming out of that direction, and right towards the beginning here, there's going to be a little bit of a slipstream that occurs. It's aerodynamics, and then there's fluid or hydrodynamics. All this is real science. It's real science that explains what we actually observe. The differences in density and mass cause things to float and fall. So I'm going to do it again today. Let's see how it works out. There's my data. You'll see the wind direction. Hey, it landed upright this time. Oh, it capsized. There you go. And what I'll do with that, I'll just shake it off, stick it in my back pocket, and it'll dry out when I put it in the sun. I'll use it another time. It'll be a customized card. Intentionally moving along this line to show you that. Over here, because there's quite a bit of wind breaking going on, this water is actually a little bit more still. We'll see the gentleman coming this way right there in the view. Isn't that spectacular? I think it is. Good morning. So I've seen my shadows as long as from here to that man over there, about 200 feet long. That's what'll happen when the light source is way down low. So I think this is pretty good for now. I just want to take a little walk around a little bit. Some hand holding in the view there. The photographer on the edge of the beach. So a lot of people come out here and take pictures. So me having my photo album attached to my YouTube channel, they're able to see the beauty of where they came to visit and photos that they took while they were here. It's, you know, some people, I don't need to get credit for the photos that I take. I don't sell them. I don't do it for money. I do it because I want to engage the head and the heart. There's a disconnect with a lot of people there. So that's why I not only show the shape of the world and talk about that, it's about the reality of the mind control and population control that's inundating humanity, and what can we do about that? How can we break free from that? And I believe that happened for me only by the grace of God, where He gave me His Holy Spirit, a love for the truth, and also a desire to share that truth with a watching world. We're in a bit of a fishbowl. People are paying attention, and especially because of what I've had an opportunity to do, I'm prepared to. I'm like perpetually ready. I'm continually ready to do what God created me to do. So, like for example, when I was driving in and waving to people that I saw Jay. Jay works for the North Myrtle Beach municipality. He's in the Public Works Department. We've had some pretty long conversations over the last years. So when I round the corner with my light on inside and wave to him, at least I believe that was Jay. Looks like his vehicle. And so what happens is that's like a catalyst for retrieving that information. When we see people that are changed, that should be a serious catalyst for consideration. What do they look like now? What happened to them? So I've got a lot of sand on my feet right now, and I don't want to put that in my shoes. So I'll just show you one of the ways that I deal with that. Now, to try and do that in the at the edge of the ocean with the waves coming in and the turbulence of the water is kind of tough. A tidal pool works very good for that. It's just the way it is. It's just how it actually works. So in the effort of wanting to do things better, giving myself enough time, getting up early enough in the morning to be able to do some things that I need to do. Quite often I make extra coffee in the morning for Joni. I've got some that I'll have myself. I wanted to show you once again the water and talk about it. Let me see. There we go. So this is carbon filtered, reverse osmosis, carbon filtered water. And what I'll do with it is put it in the sun. These are vinegar bottles I got from Costco. The benefit of that is I don't want the estrogen mimicking chemicals coming out of that water that come out of plastic. So that's why I use glass. And of course, the water just does this. And so that's one perspective on it. What happens when a lot of water flows down? What takes place? Let me spin this around so you can see. The water is powerful. A big gust of wind could blow a long time and not have nearly the effect of just a little bit of water poured out like that. So the water has oxygen, is hydrogen and oxygen, extremely powerful. It adds oxygen to our body. Okay, that's a big deal. After I exfoliate, rinse myself off with hot water, I use this water that has been heated up on the stove, and then rinse off with that, put coconut oil on me, and then I'll squeeze the water out of my arms. I'm going to show you that. Let's see. It goes kind of like this. The water, of course, will pour off of my arm like that. But then when I wring it off, the water will keep coming out of my skin, wherever it is, whether it's on my face, arms, legs, you get the point. So the idea of that is sometimes people will run and jog and the physical activity is good. I do some of that too. Good morning. Great, thank you. But what I'll also do is when I get ready in the morning, I will also do that on my skin. It moves the lymphatic system under the arms. I've got a mixture of the coconut oil on my whole body, and then I'll put some purified water with baking soda there. And okay, so this may sound funny, but when there's a little bit of water on the baking soda, I'll rub this around. It puts a little bit on my shirt too, and it'll neutralize the body odor just like that. And that's pretty amazing, because when many of us find out that the battle we're in, they're trying to make us toxic. Good morning. I don't want aluminum in my lymphatic system and ultimately in my brain. Don't want it there. It's not supposed to be there. It provides a lot of unhealthy, it causes health consequences. So do chemicals like aspartame. It causes a cellular irritation. It's a neurotoxin. Okay, it's an excitotoxin like MSG. Some of these different chemicals have health consequences that can cause the body to hold a few extra gallons of water. How much does a gallon of water weigh? It depends on the temperature of the water. The density and volume of the water changes with temperature. If you're pretty aware of physics and properties of water, theoretical physics, and you didn't even know that, I'm not saying you didn't. It's a lot of the haters are unaware of some of those details. So I've got a pretty busy schedule away from here. Now I've got some condos to clean. That's one of the things that I do. It's more than commercial cleaning for our individual clients. What it is it's physical activity, optical, I'm going to be looking at what I need to do so it's all squeaky clean, shiny chrome, nobody's hair anywhere. It's got to be out of there. The bed's made really nice. I'm a professional as I do that. And rather than earning a minimal wage doing that for a company, we've got our own company. and don't underpay our employees. I earn a good amount of money when I do that. I was also very successful in real estate. How did that work? Well, what we did is we bought desirable houses in desirable locations. I worked really hard as I worked a lot of hours at my job. Sometimes I would lay down work a big day the day of, and then put down a linoleum floor and stay awake and go to work the next day, and still homeschooled our children. Some of the what they viewed as mania was actually a lot of energy and a desire to accomplish something. And so the psychological / pharmaceutical model of control has to do with attributing certain attributes as a mental illness, like looking at seeing how a lot of these different conspiracies actually work together. How does that happen? Well, what happens is they'll attribute that to mania. Robin Williams had manic depression. He killed himself apparently shortly before I was born again. We were both diagnosed with bipolar, had difficulty on and off medication, and more. Our own choices of other chemicals. The reason why I mention that is it's a big deal. There are people that have killed themselves, and others. People can become suicidal and homicidal with the chemical assault of pharmaceuticals and other factors, including the electrosmog that is affecting humanity with the conductive particles that they're spraying that they're releasing in the atmosphere. So I've got those videos on my liked video playlist about the pharmaceutical industry, the drugging of humanity with the water, the mind control of the television and the media input, the artificial intelligence that is not only tracking, tracing, databasing, threat assessing, it's assaulting us. I get assaulted with, they're not dating sites, they're sites that people hook up and hang out and do stuff that would be viewed as sin according to Scripture. It knows that there's struggles that I'm having relationally. That's part of the dynamic, but they don't even have to target that. They don't even have to necessarily target that particular aspect, because they'll just hit humanity with the alternate sexual activity other than monogamy. They'll promote bigamy and adultery and all of that. That's all part of the deal, to get people to do their own thing and to basically give the God of the Bible the finger and say, hey, I don't want to do it your way. Like the famous song from Frank Sinatra, I did it my way, like that was a better way. I'll do it his way, the God who created me. So if you like this kind of content, I've got a lot of it. I put it out there because I care, and I want people to be changed. I want people to be able to enjoy the life in the world that we have to live in. What an awesome day. Thanks so much for your public and private encouragement, the sharing of the content that I produce, and also it's not just what I've produced. When I put I'm going to try and get this so I'm blocking the wind a little bit better. When I put this out there in such a way, well, I've got some trimming to do on that wing flying out there, huh? So here's the thing. Not only the content that I produced, when I pick a video and share it, oh, there's Gilligan. Nope, that's Zoe. I'll show you. She's out there stirring it up. How adorable. So when I pick a video out of my liked video playlist, that's where the playlist starts, and you can go either way on the playlist. So I pretty typically will put that there. Sometimes I'll put the link to my channel as a user, a non-subscriber, so you can click on the link. Sometimes the link won't show up. If I send a link out there as as my page as somebody who's subscribed, they won't even see it. They can't open it. It's kind of weird. Those are some of the limitations that I'm working through as I do the social media, and understand that some of these things change as we work on. So thanks so much for your time, for liking, sharing, and Bible.com, Bible.is, very effective apps to hear, share, and of course obey God's Word, and YouTube for an eternal perspective.